The boiling hatred of loss, the vengeance slowly consuming you, but then perspective sets in and you drop the hot coal you were holding. Despite being hurt, you make an effort to understand the other because so were they. But now it is a double-edged sword. In the midst of protecting those you love, the recklessness and the passion ironically lead to their destruction. What do you do now? A question that N needs to ask himself while dismissing the suffering he causes to the world in the name of keeping Mio alive, not knowing when to be close and when to let go. Takahashi-san doesn't just make games, he makes art, at least in my estimations. Art can be a window and art can be a mirror, but great art is both. You will never be a true artist if there's always a mask between you and the viewer, especially when the viewer is you. See, I play games not just to have fun, but to learn more about life, the world, and myself. Xeno means relating to foreigners, but I feel oddly at home whenever I play Xeno.
There was never a reason for any of us to fight in the first place.
The actions you believe to be correct don't always lead to good outcomes. Some situations aren't salvageable. It's beyond anyone's control.
Control and agency is what we ultimately want, but still the actions you believe to be correct don't always lead to good outcomes. Ethel's duel with Kamuravi is our prime example. The real battle here is more than vain pride or winning. As the strongest warriors of Kevesi and Agnians, they share an intimate bond and respect for each other, just as any martial artist would. You fight, but that doesn't mean you're enemies, and friends don't stab each other in the back when the other falls down. Especially not when it is the result of Ferronis malfunctioning. But here is the problem. Even if not thrusting the blade is the right thing to do, Mobius don't think so. Now the silvercoat Ethel needs to pay the price, reduced to dirt rank for insubordination. Her colony now is forced to eat basic rations, not the tastier ardent meat they enjoyed back in the glory days. The actions you believe to be correct don't always lead to good outcomes is ultimately the rejection of consequentialism, the ethical theory that judges whether an action is right or wrong based on its consequences.
In the current of the eternal flow, you need not justify the means. All is swallowed up. Everything.
But does the end justify the means? I personally don't think so. Despite being reduced to dirt rank and her people suffering now, Ethel shouldn't have thrusted that blade, because your intentions and your actions are their own units separate from their consequences. You have a duty to atone, even if your actions were in self-defense, even if your enemy was an amalgamation of non-sentient mud.
They were literal clods, man. Nobody's actually died. Who are you doing that for?
Land's got no tact.
Do too.
Is about atoning.
Why are we seeing them off? I know they were only hollow vessels, but ultimately, we chose to fight and kill them. And nothing can change that fact. Even if there's no one to actually see off, we have to atone for that.
Atonement, huh? Alleviating feelings of guilt and of loss. What matters is that it is there. You don't need to pay attention. You don't need to do anything. But the way it is designed, if you think about it, it just works. We are told our life is born from the Queen, and to the Queen it returns. However, that's only if you make it to your homecoming. But what of the others? What of those who fall on the battlefield? Nobody knows. Where do they go? Seeing motes rise into the sky serves to dispel any unease. You end up believing, well, they're going somewhere.
Everyone deals with things in their own way. So Yoren turned up. That alone isn't so bad.
Of course it is!
Figuring out why it happened. That's what we should do. The reason we became Ouroboros. The reason the world looks like this. It's all connected. I'm sure of it.
Or maybe you just want it that way.
Better than being stuck in the past.
Lying is wrong, even if it could lead to a positive outcome. Breaking a promise is too. I'm not saying there can be circumstances where the context is such that lying can be right. But in this case, swinging the blade on someone who cannot defend themselves is only a shallow victory, even if you win. This principle of the end justifies the means is at the fabric of this world. Aionios, as it exists off your suffering and rebirth, your pain. If death is a lie in this world, then it deserves to end, even if it might spell our doom. The reboot of Origin is not a guarantee, but it's still the right thing to do. The consequences are not as important as you think because the future is, for everyone, inherently unpredictable. The only thing we can do is to make sure our intentions, our actions are pure, our conscience is clear. And deontology does just that, an ethical theory that focuses on duties and rules to determine the morality of actions. You can also use its less rigid moral particularism counterpart, but the point is, Ouroboros emphasizes how important our intentions and motives are, doing things for the right reasons regardless of their consequences. Something that N and the Mobius fail to grasp. You can't step on the weak and assume you are the strong.
That you can't just look at one aspect of the whole.
Who cares about N, suffered through hell, didn't want to lose M, but killed hundreds of people just to delay his inevitable ruin? After all, if he didn't think about the children, the innocent, the city life, well, why should I? Who cares about Jin, who was forsaken by the world, lost his love Laura for basically nothing? People experience loss all the time, but they don't lash out in anger, trying to destroy the world as payback. While it is sad, Laura's death is unfortunate. Why should I feel sympathy for Jin, let alone love, for someone who stabbed me in the back and tried to take Pyre away from me? He didn't have the right to do that. Who cares about Mumkar, who was an asshole through and through, left Dixon and Dumbman to die out there, and killed Fiora, the only person Shulk ever loved? See, the point is I can't empathize with these people. The Logos, they are the downtrodden and forsaken for a reason, right?
Oh, Architect, is this the world that you intended?
no one said this would be easy. Numa's love is hard to embody unconditionally in a world that actively denies its existence. It is hard to be a light, a beacon of hope in pitch black darkness, knowing how this is your only ammunition against the void of despair.
If you don't know, then let me teach you. I'll drag you with me. Deep into the void, to the depths of despair!
There's no joy in a contrived death, Noah.
Contrived death, huh? At this point, I get him. Kind of, at least.
On that day, he shook my belief. Was I really content? Content with the path I'd chosen to follow? And then he chose for himself. His end would be by his design. I need to know. What was he thinking back then? And why now?
And we're actively opening their eyes colony by colony. One of my favorite aspects of Xenoblade 3, the hero quests. Solving a unique existential crisis every few hours. See, a lot of people did not play this game, They may have technically rolled the credits, but if they did not see all the heroes and ascensions, they fundamentally missed the core of Xenoblade 3. They did not find connections between the ascensions like Ashira's and Juniper's. The desire to die due to the pain in your neck, or isolation leading to resignation, it makes no difference. You're not doing it for the right motive in neither scenario. You don't have free will in neither scenario. Essentially, you cannot let the inner or the outer world to resign you to your fate, which is the point Ouroboros makes. Not necessarily that self-destruction is inherently wrong. Our end was by our design, but the difference now was that it served a greater purpose. We self-destructed consciously to give everyone the chance to have true freedom. Both Alexandria and the bald guy in Lance's quest criticized the ones at the top enforcing the rules. And make no mistake, it is no coincidence both of these people are going against the current, doing what is normally frowned upon by the society. Using a minimum of people to achieve maximum results, it is called Pareto's Principle in the guerrilla warfare. Reading the flow of goods, keeping the troops light and nimble in a flat hierarchy. Even though Alexandria's methods can be questionable, she is bending and breaking the rules to protect her people the best she can. See, the system is closely entangled with the intentions of whomever set them. They can't be trusted so readily, leading to a cooperation with the castle to modify everyone's irises. That's how the Collectopedia cards came to be after all. All thanks to this girl, Alexandria. By thinking outside the narrow confines of the rules, they improved everyone's lives. And now, boiling the collective into personal, similarly questioning the status quo is essential even in the city, considering anything but fighting is actually frowned upon, just like Ionios. Not everyone can fight, let alone desires to fight. Sometimes I think the most important reason to internalize the rules of a system is to know when to break them.
Doing the same as everyone around you, it's always the same outcome. Following the playbook to the letter is hardly a strategy.
And so I'm old-fashioned?
You're not mad this time?
No matter what happens, you fight to keep everyone alive. And that's what makes a colony. All right, Alexandria. I understand you now.
Do you think we'll be useful?
Doesn't matter. I don't see people that way.
Oh. When you think about rules, you have to realize that they are closely entangled with the intentions of whoever set them. I don't suppose you'll believe me, but I just want to see what life's like outside of those confines.
We're at war here. Why aren't you fighting? They say.
Do you not need to be fighting?
The city's army is just for volunteers. There's plenty who are willing, because it gets you others' approval.
You don't?
Well, who decides what has merit? Isn't it fine if there's like one guy who makes the call for himself? You know? And whoever's making the rules, how do we know they're right?
And last but not least, let's look at this painting in Segiri's quest, a secret Mobius have tried to keep hidden all this time. Because despite the brainwashing from birth, they know that humans have an innate biological drive to form connections, leading to tight-knit communities. A family might just be the tightest of them all, a small version of you bopping around, your flesh and blood, people of the city. This is what the Ouroboros have been looking for all along, right? That love, the primordial connection a parent, a mother has for her child, something they have all been robbed of, right? Wrong. You're not gonna believe this, but Xenoblade 3 actually suggests that underneath the appearances of familial bond, in other words, this painting that Mobius fears so much, is ultimately an illusion when all is said and done. Not in the sense that it doesn't pose a threat to Mobius, because it certainly does. The child born of the mother will not be shackled by Origin's control, living a life of freedom, her soul not being bound by the cradles and rebirth of Kavesi and Agnians. No, family bonds are an illusion because it will never solve world's problems unless everyone is more conscious first, which is one of Takahashi's most interesting insights. We've been conditioned to think of the umbilical cord as a rope. But what would you do if it was a stick all along?
Oh, do stop. You're wasting your time with that. How much longer will you drag our family's name through the mud? So she met her end as our Mobius. Please. What a pathetic child. Monica, what now?
I thought maybe parents would be closer to their kids somehow. Like that warmth we felt would go on throughout their lives. I thought that might have been the answer we were looking for.
It's an illusion. It's a fact of life that the child is born of the parent. But that's all it is.
So everything that we're trying to achieve, is that an illusion too? It's all just a big lie?
Whether it ends in a lie or not is up to you. We all have to crawl face down in the mud, believing we'll come out smiling.
Sounds nice. I like it.
You think Shania was able to smile?
Next time round, she'll be fine.
As I get older, I wonder, can you ever truly know someone else? Then again, how many truly know themselves? A lucky few, perhaps. Is it a blessing to understand your darkest nature, or a curse to which we turn a blind eye? We lie to ourselves all the time, don't we? About things we would rather not admit or confront. About ourselves, about each other. Then there are things we genuinely don't see. I have nothing but time these days to wonder what I missed, what might have changed things. What is it that I didn't see that I couldn't make myself see? When did she start pulling away?
It's been fun, Noah.
I thought our lives were like our music, always in our hands, under our control. I wasn't facing the truth. Even if I could reach people, I wouldn't be able to save them. It's unbearable, seeing life slip away from you, even though they're right there. What am I even doing?
What difference do you think you'll make? What can you say?
What am I even doing?
I cannot lose to you. I cannot!
I can't help but wonder, would I have been able to save you?
She's your family. Mum would tell you.